So in the One Piece community, there's a running gag about characters being frauds or fraudulent with their power level. Everyone likes to say, why Big Mama's a fraud? Why the admirals are frauds? But the funniest thing is that the biggest fraud in the series perfectly fits that definition, and nobody realizes it. I'm of course referring to Enel. Everyone thinks this guy is the craziest pre-time skip character who has wasted potential, but in reality, he's legitimately one of the weakest One Piece characters, and I will show you. To begin, Enel is the wielder of the Goro Goro no Mi, allowing him to generate and turn into lightning. He also uses basic observation haki to predict attacks. And no matter how many crackpot theories say this, he doesn't have future sight. Even so, these abilities combined seem really overpowered. Enel can destroy people with lightning and evade attacks quite easily. But even if he does get hit, he can just phase through it by turning into electricity, as long as the attack isn't coated in haki. But despite this, he still lost to a pre-time skip pre-gear Luffy. Fortunately, Luffy is made out of rubber, so he could actually hit Enel. Looks simple, right? Enel got hoed by the plot, but if he kept going, then he could have one-shot top-tier characters. Oda himself said that he would have a 500 million berry bounty if he was on the Blue Sea. Well, yeah, no. First of all, Enel's loss to Luffy wasn't just because of a devil fruit. The rubber only allowed Luffy to hit Enel. If Luffy couldn't actually hurt Enel, then this wouldn't mean anything. What I'm trying to say is at this point, Luffy is physically just as fast and as strong as Enel, which brings us to the Enies Lobby arc. In this arc is a group of assassins known as CP9, with a power ranking system called Doriki. Doriki levels are only based on physical strength. All of the techniques that CP9 uses, the Rokushiki, are also based on physical strength. So the Doriki levels are an accurate representation of their overall power, not counting Devil Fruit abilities. In the beginning of the arc, the same Luffy that bodied Enel goes up against Blueno. Blueno has a Doriki level of 820. They go about even for a while until Luffy pulls out Gear 2nd and thrashes him. Luffy then fights Lucci, who has a power level of 4000, almost 5 times that of Blueno, so you would think Luffy needs Gear 2nd right off the bat, right? No, Luffy keeps up with Lucci in base. In between these two fights, there were no power-ups, no amps, no nothing. Luffy just gets 5 times stronger. Don't ask me why it happens, it just does. You can't even deny this either, it's very simple division and multiplication. So at this point, Luffy and base Lucci would low diff Enel. For those who think that a 5 times difference isn't that crazy, let me give you an example of what that looks like. Frankie defeated Fukuro, who has a Doriki level of 800. Of course, Lucci is exactly 5 times stronger than this, and he says that directly. Then he proceeds to blitz and easily body Frankie. Also, keep in mind, this is all while not even talking about Gear 2nd or CP9's Devil Fruit abilities. Gear 2nd has been calculated to be a 10 times increase, which would make Luffy 50 times stronger than Enel. We low-key don't even need to go there though, the 5 times difference is enough. As we know, the strongest versions of the pre-time skip Straw Hats can barely defeat one Pacifista as a team, but after the time skip, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji can individually one-shot them. So any opponent in the new world that these three struggle with would one-shot Enel as well, since they have haki. Some may think that Enel's observation haki would carry him or some shit like that, but I want to remind y'all that even future sight can be blitzed as long as the speed gap is far enough. Finally, for the people that think Enel would blitz every character because he's as fast as lightning, bitch, these niggas are dodging light in the arcs right after, stop it. So in summary, Enel is equal to a Skypiea Luffy, but this Luffy gets multiple times stronger and would smash on him without even using Gear 2nd. Then you add on all the amps that the Straw Hats got after Enies Lobby, which would make it impossible for Enel to even step foot in the new world. At best, he gets hard carried by his Devil Fruit until Virgo mops the floor with him. Enel is a complete fraud. Bye bye.
I'd rather put my trust in July. 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 I'd rather